Yes, sir. Kobe.
How did you get started with being that having success? How did you get started?
Well, I think getting started with having success is realizing that you don't have success and just being humble and saying, this is what I want, and pursuing it. So if you're going to go to the airport, which I do a lot, and fly, you don't just walk up to the ticket counter and say, good morning, American Airlines, I'm here today and I want to fly. And they're like, well, we have 1,000 destinations. Where would you like to go? I don't know, I just want to go anywhere. It's like, okay, we'll send you to Alaska today. It's like, I don't know if I want to show up in Alaska in the winter. That could be a little bit frigid. So the key is you need to have a plan and you need to work your plan. So plan your work and work your plan. So before you can be happy with where you're at in life, you have to decide what you want in life. And a lot of people, once they've got what they want, they no longer want what they've got. So life is like a smorgasbord. You go to a lot of buffets, and here in Florida we have a lot of buffets. I miss them when I go overseas because I don't get fed nearly as well as you can eat here in Florida. I like to go to Sweet Tomatoes. And you go to a buffet and you can sample all the foods. And you find out, I like this, I don't like that. And you have the luxury of tasting and trying and sampling many different types of food. Well, life is the same way. It's a discovery process. So you have to determine what it is you like. And some things you thought you liked, maybe you won't. And maybe in 5 years, your desires and preferences will change. Things change over time as you get older and as you mature and learn more about yourself, and that's okay. So sometimes you have to be willing to change and go with it. It's like surfing. You have to go through the waves and get positioned, then turn around and ride the waves. So it's a lot of work to get positioned. So when you're young, the first thing is to get positioned, which you have rightfully done by coming to this apprentice doctor camp. So when you're young, you want to invest in studying and reading books and going and associating with the right kind of people so you can invest in your life, which you're doing. And as a result of that, you'll begin to learn, you'll begin to discover new bodies of knowledge, new opportunities. And when you hear people speaking and you start reading things, every now and then some things inside of you will begin to snap, crackle, and pop and move. And you'll think, man, this is something that I really like, I'm interested in. So when I began to study economics, I thought, wow, this is pretty interesting. I'd like to study that. For example, when I was in Indonesia, $1 US was 10,000 rupiah. I thought, oh, that's pretty neat. $1 is 10,000 rupiah. Now I can only buy a loaf of bread with that. But nevertheless, currencies is rather interesting because before 9/11, $1 was like 8,000 rupiah. But after 9/11, voluntarism and the bombing in Bali, $1 was 10,000 rupiah. If I would know this is happening before it happens, I can make a lot of money on currency speculation. There's a guy named George Soros, he made $1 billion betting against the British pound. So that became interesting to me because when I went to the post office and I wanted to send a postcard to my grandma, I bought some stamps for the postcard in Indonesia, and they're like, look, it's going to take 7 stamps to send the postcard back to America. I said, there's not enough room on the postcard for these stamps. So instead of just making one stamp that was 7,000 rupiah, they had only one stamp. Dr. Anthony was 1,000 rupiah. So I had to put 7 of them on there. So usually I learned governments cannot keep up with the currency fluctuations. So you just have to study what you're interested in. And as you do, success is according to you. Don't let anybody else put their map on you. You decide what you're passionate about. Success for Tiger Woods is playing golf. Success for Enzo Ferrari is making cars. Success for Phelps is jumping in the water and swimming as fast as he can. You know, everybody's got a different way to measure success. And it's according to your passion and your pursuits, what you like. And as long as you're progressively moving towards the fulfillment of your goal, that's success. Progression. Just onward progression. Now when you begin to stagnate, you get depressed, you begin to regress, that's not success. So as long as you're going forward, as far as I'm concerned, all of you are successful. Your students, you're going forward. Where other kids are laying on their butt today, getting fat, watching TV, or playing a video game, you're going forward. They're sitting still, going nowhere. So you're doing something on a daily basis and going forward, that's success. It's the progressive pursuit of a worthy goal. That's success. So all of you are successful. So don't ever forget that. Yes?
What's your definition of like succeeding in life?
Well, again, that is.
Education or relationships?
It doesn't have to be necessarily book education. It could be life education, like I answered earlier. Traveling the world was a great form of education for me. So it doesn't have to be academic education because there's life education. There's experience when you go work for a company and you learn. You go work for a hospital, you hang around other healthcare professionals, you learn by experience as well. It's like being a lifeguard. I could learn, okay, they taught me at the YMCA, this is how you're going to be a lifeguard. You read the book, you pass the test. But no, there was some swimming involved and some water skill testing. But then when I got into working at Wet and Wild and I had to jump in there and save people at the wave pool when people drowned, there's a little bit more experience involved than just, okay, I passed the test. No, there's a life test. You got to push the button, stop the wave pool, jump in there, grab them, swim them back to shore, see if they're still breathing. Okay, you calm them down. That's an experience. Something to be said about experience. So it's not always just education, it's a combination. That's why you go to hospitals while you're here, and you go out and you do some practical hands-on work as well. So that's, you want to combine both. That's part of the combination, so to say, for success. And it's always different for every profession you're pursuing. Good question. Did that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.